And speaking of the Keiser candle, let's dip into our feature story of the day, shall we? Let's discuss the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as well as Qatar adopting Bitcoin and ultimately converting their sovereign wealth fund into BTC. There's some insights and some bombshells Max Keiser recently shared. So let's break this feature story of the day down, shall we? Let's start with this headline. World's largest oil company, Saudi ARAMCO, partners with SBI Holdings to potentially invest in digital assets. This is a big deal because it's the largest oil company in the world, and this is the largest bank out of Japan, SBI Holdings. Now, Max Keiser just tweeted this morning the following after I made a tweet for my show. He wrote, "What I heard 9 months ago and reported on is happening. ARAMCO is doing a Michael Saylor and putting billions of dollars into Bitcoin. FOMO is real." So there you have it. He says they're already purchasing billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Now, Max also tweeted this morning, countries that have no Bitcoin on their books will die. Russia, China, Israel, for example, are heading to the shitter. El Salvador is rising. The USA has Bitcoin, but they have loaned them out and will lose them to Michael Saylor. Let me know if you agree or disagree to that sentiment. In other headlines, Saudi Aramco on the verge of embracing Bitcoin. Let's freaking go. Another headline, Bitcoin maxing advisor to El Salvador President Max Keiser predicts the Bitcoin price to hit 375,000 per coin. He actually has a tweet right here, which he shares. Bitcoin price was lagging behind the rise of the hash rate while competitor CZ and Binance was being targeted and then taken down at the behest of the large Wall Street players. The price rise is now catching up to the implied hash adjusted price of 375,000 per coin. Now, I think that's a pretty solid target for this cycle peak. What are your thoughts? Do you think we're likely to catch up to the adjusted implied hash adjusted price? Let me know your thoughts. Other news here, I want to share some recent tweets from him regarding this topic as well. So on the back of this headline, he also wrote, translation, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and Qatar are about to drop $1 trillion into Bitcoin. That's how we translate this headline of the world's largest oil company partnering with the Japanese finance giant to invest in digital assets. He also wrote, Russia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and Iran will start doing deals in Bitcoin. Qatar knows this and is pulling the trigger on a huge Bitcoin buy for their sovereign wealth fund. And he shared this off the back of the news. Iran's president arrives in Moscow, Russia, to meet Putin just one day after the Russian leader met Saudi leaders. So are all these leaders of the world meeting, discussing Bitcoin and de-dollarization, just like the BRICS movement? What are your thoughts? I mean, this is pretty powerful. He also wrote that the God candle is a $100,000 uptick in Bitcoin, which is in play. It will shift the global access to wealth and power in a single tick. Let's freaking go. He also shared, I have one word for you, $100,000 Bitcoin God candle fans. Qatar, let's go. The rumors are getting very loud on this. Their sovereign wealth fund is rumored to be looking to buy $500 billion worth of BTC. Now, their Emir, who is ultimately their king or president, did meet with Bukele a few months back. You can see the evidence of that right here, Bukele and the Qatar president. He also wrote update to add some more clarity. Here's what my source said. Bitcoin makes our $500 billion sovereign wealth fund effectively worthless. We should just convert all of it into Bitcoin. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I think that would be lit if there was that much Bitcoin to actually buy in the open market right now. But nonetheless, that's a big deal. So now you know the context. Now, also, he wrote this morning, Volcano Energy is advising President Bukele on volcano bonds. We have identified 18 volcanoes out of 27 that are prime locations for geothermal Bitcoin mining. Let's go. Now, geothermal energy is genius, using free energy that the volcano is naturally producing to mine Bitcoin. Now, how many volcanoes are there across Central America, South America, and different parts of the world? They have identified already out of the 27, 18 that are prime locations for geothermal. So this can start a domino effect for massive Bitcoin mining operations across the globe. So this is a pretty big deal. deal. And we also have talks of President of Colombia becoming a Bitcoiner recently, has 100,000 sats that Samson Mao gifted him. There's other countries talking about adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender as well. So there's a lot going on. There's so much bullishness, and it's a beautiful thing. But let's get back to this story here, because this is a massive partnership. Saudi Aramco, the largest oil and gas company, might be on the brink of investing in digital assets. Which digital asset do you think they'll choose? I mean, clearly, Bitcoin being the king, why wouldn't they? The company, which has a market cap of over $2 trillion. So they have the funds, they have the resources, and they just signed a memorandum of understanding with SBI Holdings. I believe that's like the largest bank, correct me if I'm wrong, in Japan, to explore collaboration in various fields of investment, including digital assets, aka Bitcoin. Now, they established that both companies will collaborate in the field of digital assets and co-investments, leveraging both parties' investment portfolios related to digital assets. SBI has an extensive investment in companies that use digital assets in their business model. The company recently partnered with the stablecoin company Circle and has a long-time collaboration with Ripple, which is a crypto-based payments company. So this is pretty big. The memorandum details that Saudi Aramco will identify and support Japanese startups in the digital asset area that wishes to expand their business in the Middle East, supporting their entry and growth into the region. So there you have it. I also want to read you some stuff from which article that we have here? Right here. So Max Keiser is now up 20 million% on his Bitcoin investment since 2011. And he has been telling us about Bitcoin since 2011. Now, how many Bitcoin millionaires have been birthed as a result of Max and Stacy and the Keiser report? You do the math. Probably millions. So much respect to Max. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Bitcoin is the most appreciative asset in human history, and we can still do another easy 100x. If you're here for the long haul, let me know, and let me check some of these comments, fam. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with some of the bullish predictions of Keiser. Do you think we could potentially see the God or Keiser candle, which is 100,000 in a single day? Let me know. And thanks for that sub, Wosh or Waj. I appreciate that. Thanks for supporting the channel. And hopefully you guys are getting a lot of value out of today's content.